Hello and welcome to MSPN's coverage of Marble Fubeca. We're here for a brand new multi-video tournament. Glad to have you here for our first of 3 videos. This is Marble Golf as we'll begin our 16-team tournament with this very interesting new aspect and a very different event here for our first event of the 3 videos. We'll have today's video, which will begin. The left side of our bracket will be completed, and then our second video will continue on, and we'll go to our third and final video, which will be the finale. As you see, the Marble Golf Course, and now on the screen, the 2019 team statistics. You've got 8 different countries with 2 championships, and a ton of countries that have won themselves at least one tournament here in 2019. So those are the teams that have won this year, and now we'll have a look at the teams that are competing today. And they are Mexico, Italy, India, and Argentina. And then the United States will take on Uruguay, and England against the Philippines. That's who we're going to see today. And then the right side of the bracket, which will not compete today, is Pakistan and Portugal, Russia and Colombia, and then Brazil and the Korean Republic, Spain and Chile. Which again, those 8 teams that are on the right side of the bracket will not compete in the Marble Golf today. First matchup of the day, though, is Mexico against Italy. Unlike normal golf, where the goal is to have the lowest score, you want to have the highest score here. 5 marbles are going to go from each country, and we will see who can come up with the most points. That's the goal. Italy in the blue, Mexico in the green. And they make their way towards the course. A few spots in the 5s, and one is going to stop just short for Italy of the 8, but they're going to pick up a 15, and they're going to have enough to win that last 5 that made its way in. As you see the replay, Mexico had more of their marbles land in the holes, but they all landed in the lower 5 hole, which only gives them a total of 15 points. So Italy gets a 15 and a 5 to get the 20 to 15 win. They'll move on. Now it's England against the Philippines. Very interesting, unique style for this course. Philippines closer to you on the screen, and then England with less blue, more yellow involved. Everybody missed except for one. England gets 1 to land in the 5, and they're going to win this one by a final of 5-0. Oh, look at that. 8 came in and out a couple of times. That would have been add-on points for England, and then watch this. Everybody missed, somehow finding their way. Oh, wow, look at those 3 in a row nearly went in the 8 hole for the Philippines. Instead, they don't score at all, and England is moving on. Our third matchup is India against Argentina. India on the lower portion of the screen. There's an 8 for Argentina, a 5 for India, and that'll be all. Oh, actually, Argentina scored a 3 as well. So they get the 8 and the 3 for a total of 11. Didn't even see them all the way up at the top of the screen. They were able to score that 3 and add on some points there to get that win 11-5. They take out India, and the final matchup for today is Uruguay against the United States. The U.S. is going to have great viewing for what they hope is a win, an advancement in this tournament. They're in the silver. The blue is Uruguay. Last time today, here they go. Uruguay's got 5. Uruguay's got 8. The United States only picked up 3, and Uruguay wins it by a final of 13-3. You'll watch at the top of this, or the right side of your screen, there's the 3 for the U.S. Uruguay picked up 5 on the way in, and they added right there, actually with a little bit of help from a U.S. marble, they added those 8 points to finish out that win. So Uruguay gets the win, and the quarterfinals of this tournament are set on the left side. We are glad to have you back for event number 2 and video number 2 of this 16-team tournament. Glad to have you here for our second event. I'm Rick O'Shea for MSPN's coverage of Marble Fubeca and our coverage today of the Marble with Racetrack Curves in Quercetti. Very interesting, large, just a ginormous course that will host today's festivities. see another time trial-based event. And on the left side of your screen, the 2019 team statistics. Russia, Brazil, and England leading the way. There is the starting gates, and now on the left side you see the teams that already clinched their way in from the Marble Golf video, so if you haven't seen that, take a look. That's Italy, Argentina, Uruguay, and England. We won in the first of our 3 videos for this tournament. There are the teams that are competing today. Pakistan will take on Portugal, and then Russia against Colombia. Brazil takes on the Korean Republic, and Spain versus Chile. Marble Golf involved countries potentially having contact with each other and influencing each other. That won't be the case today, as Portugal takes on Pakistan. This is simply about speed, and unlike the last time we saw a speed trial, you have 3 team members, 3 marbles that need to get to the bottom. That could be very interesting as they are off and running. It looks like a slight lead right now for Portugal, which is on the top rung. Followed, slowing down just a tad bit, is Pakistan. They're going to have to pick this up. Portugal keeping their marbles very tight with each other, continuing to make their way down a very large course. Building that lead. Looks like they've got one more time around. They do. Here they come, and it will be a pretty easy win. 34-21, beat them by just under 2 seconds. Portugal takes out Pakistan. Giving you a little glimpse of what we're going to see in today's video, as they make their way into the quarterfinal for this tournament. Next matchup is going to be Russia versus Colombia. Colombia takes the top. Russia goes on the bottom. Right now the top, undefeated in 1 run, obviously. That course just so big and moving just a little bit every time that the marbles make contact. Colombia has lost one of their marbles, has gone rogue from the rest of the course. Way out in front, but it looks like even their slower marbles, now they seem to be catching back up to each other. It seems like it's pretty tight right now. Who comes around this time? Russia has taken the lead. They are picking up speed and in a hurry. Next time around will be the last time, and it looks like Russia's going to get this win. They will. What a finish for Russia. They come across with the fastest time now, 34-17, and beat them by an even second over Colombia. Great comeback by Russia, because Colombia had that lead, and Colombia had by far the fastest marble there before they kind of came back to the pack. So Russia takes over the best time, and they move in to the quarterfinals, and now Brazil against Korea. So the top has won once, the bottom has won once. Brazil goes up top, and Korea takes the bottom. We'll see. Brazil jumps out to an early lead. Still within 1 length of the grouping of marbles is Korea. But now they've started to slow down just a little bit. Brazil really trying to open up that lead. They're doing so now. Really opening up the lead. Brazil just trying to dominate this course. They've only got 1 more time around to go, and Brazil is going to win this one by a mile. 33-16. They beat Korea by 2 seconds, and they beat the record, the fastest time, by a full second, 1.01, better than the Russian time. An easy win for Brazil, and they dominate the course there. Wow, that was surprising. As we get our last matchup, Spain versus Chile, our final matchup for today's video. And we will have the quarterfinal set. We'll drop from 16 to 8 from the last 2 videos into our final video. Spain takes the top, Chile takes the bottom. If Chile wins and moves on, then the top and bottom will split, each winning 2. Spain trying to keep that from happening. They're pretty close right now. One of the Chilean marbles is way behind. Needs to pick it up, and they did. Right as I was saying that, they made a great run that time. Coming around still very close. They've only got a couple more times to go, and it looks like both countries are very tight. Chile takes the lead that time. Last time around, did Chile come back from behind? They did, and they get the win. And whoa, one of the Spanish marbles comes flying off the course. 34-09, beat them by 0.09 of a second. And the Spaniards take a little bit of a injury to insult there. Welcome back to MSPN's coverage of Marble Fubeca. I'm Ricochet here for our final part of this three-part tournament. This is target shooting, which will be the quarterfinals and the semifinals, and then, of course, the final of our event tournament today. As you see, the team statistics for our countries here in 2019. We had the two separate videos that compiled the first round, and now we move on to target shooting for the quarterfinals, semifinals, and the finale of this tournament. So the supporters and the teams themselves have shifted gears, made their way to the grandstands of this target shooting arena, and they have the opportunity here to watch hopefully some high scores and some very interesting and entertaining marble competition for today's event. And so we are into the quarterfinals. In case you didn't get a chance to see, or you need a refresher on who's in, Italy and Argentina will face off. Uruguay and England are the other two teams on the left side of the bracket. Portugal against Russia, and Brazil will take on Chile. And our first matchup today will be Italy and Argentina. So Argentina will be on the left and Italy on the right. They're all going to go through the same way. Italy with the darker blue marbles. They make their way down first, and after the scoring, it is going to be a win for Italy as they get a couple in the middle and win this one by a score of 200-80. They scored 100 right there. There's a 50, and then everybody else made their way either in the 20s or the 10s. And so a pretty dominant win there for Italy. They move on to the semifinals with a 200-80 victory. 120-point margin of victory there as Uruguay will take on England now. Pretty easy win. England in the white, Uruguay in the blue. It looks like most of England is going to be there first. Who gets the opportunity? It's all Uruguay. Easy win. They win this one 220-90 as they themselves scored 100 and a 50. They scored a 30 there. And mostly 20s and a 10 for England. So they had no chance as Uruguay got down the course first. And if you have the first shot at the target shooting course itself, you're going to have the better opportunity to win that matchup. Moving to the right side of the bracket, it's Portugal against Russia. So Argentina and Uruguay, or I'm sorry, Italy and Uruguay will face off. Now Portugal and Russia look rather even. Coming down, and this is going to be Russia as they win this one by a score of 210-180, much closer. And they did give Portugal the 100 points for their marble that was kind of stuck in between the 100 and the 50. They gave them the 100, but it still wasn't quite enough as they are eliminated, and Chile will now take on Brazil. Brazil trying to pick up their third championship of the year. They, of course, have been one of the powerhouses, and they will take on Chile. Chile has the first marble. And Chile, this one's going to be close. Chile gets the win, 130-100. 50 of those 100 points for Brazil came right there. Besides that, they scored a 20 and 3 10s. And Chile gets the win, the upset victory as they take out Brazil. And they move on to the semifinal. Back to the left side of the bracket now, it's Uruguay against Italy. In the semifinal matchup of this long 3-video tournament, and Italy, they're closest to the shooting range. These marbles very similar in color. The darker blue is going to be Italy, though. And they are out first with the first 2 chances. And the scoring is going to go to Uruguay. Italy scored a 30, but everything else landed in the 10s. And so it's a pretty convincing, easy victory there for Uruguay, who won it right there with that 100. They didn't even need the other 70 that they got. But they win it by 100 points and move on to the championship. Italy is relegated to a 3rd place match and a chance at the podium, but no guarantees. Russia will now take on Chile. Wow, look at that. That was so close, and Chile is going to get the win by being the only one to score one of their marbles on those inner circles. Everybody landed either in the 20s or in that 30. Very nice round, but 130 to 100, Chile takes out Russia now. 2 very impressive wins for the Chileans. And now it is Italy against Russia for 3rd place. And a spot on the podium. And here they go. Russia gets the advantage early. They will get the first shot at the range. And they make it count. And they are going to win this one. No, Italy with the 100. They're going to win it. 2 50s. But the advantage, because of the 100 points, goes to Italy, and they steal away a spot on the podium. 170 to 150. And Italy takes 3rd place. Impressive run there for them. And now Chile against Uruguay. Uruguay with a dominant win in their last matchup, beating Italy. Chile winning it by 30 points in a hotly contested match with Russia. Let's see who gets the advantage and who gets the victory here. And who will have to settle for silver. Uruguay comes out first. Everybody in the 20s for the most part. It's the 50 that's going to win it for Uruguay. 110 to 90. That is the final score as Uruguay picks up a 50. They did have 2 10s, and all of the marbles for Chile landing in that 20s area for the most part. So 3rd place is going to go to Italy. You can give them the bronze. Chile, with an impressive run, they were able to upset a couple of heavyweights, but ultimately it's Uruguay that comes out on top. They get the championship win as they beat out 15 other countries in this 3-video tournament. So congratulations to Uruguay as they get their win here in 2019. Chile comes in 2nd, Italy in 3rd, and so that'll do it for our tournament and for today's video. Congratulations again to all of those teams who even made it past that first round. Long, grueling tournament and a tough round and a tough tournament all in all for these teams to compete in. So that'll do it for us here today. But until next time, I'm Ricochet, and this has been MSBN's coverage of Marble Fubeca.